Hey, this is Aaron, backing up a Jeep. Just went down the big hill. I'm going to show you some footage. If I can get my camera to stay, the stupid, yeah. I got negative things to say about GoPro mounts right now. Anyway, I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Hopefully you can kind of see what's going on. I'm in one of my favorite spots. This is just barely south of Pine Bluffs, Wyoming. Up on the hills here. I was hoping for more mud because we've had a decent amount of rain the last couple of days, but apparently they didn't get as much here as I did in Cheyenne. So it's just not as muddy as I'd hoped. I really wanted to cover this thing in mud, but I did go down the big hill that I like to do to test this, and I have to say that I think that the big engine is making a difference, and not in terms of being able to do stuff, because well, I haven't told you what I'm in, have I? All right, so I'm in a Jeep. I'm going to push the park button and set the brake. I am in a Jeep Wrangler. This is the unlimited four-door, and it's the 392, which means it has the big 6.4 liter engine under the hood up there, and 470 horsepower. Now it's beautiful. It sounds really good. I'll try to get a recording of the sound and I'll play that for you. But it just sounds really good, and all that extra power is nice. One of the things that I like about this Jeep is it just feels really strong. The V6 is great. It's a nice little goat, and it's kind of the stalwart. It's always been there, and it's a great engine for this Jeep. But you put this in it, and suddenly you have all this get up and go. Now, there's a downside to that, and I just found that out. When you're off the road, this vehicle weighs a lot more. You're putting a lot more tax on the suspension when you have that heavy engine. And what that means is when I went down those rocks over there, I was bottoming that suspension. And normally I would never do that, especially in a two-door, but not even in a four-door. As long as it's a Rubicon model, it's always been able to go down that hill. Now, I will also say that I went very, very slow because, again, longer wheelbase means that I'm more likely to either high center or smack the ass of this going down. The departure angle is very good, though, and I managed to not do that. But I cannot get the Gladiator, even in the Rubicon package, down that same hill, not without smacking a whole lot of stuff and potentially causing a lot of damage. So I'm really impressed that they were able to retain the off-road capability of this. That said, the extra weight on this really does make me feel like I need to slow down doing that stuff. I had to stop just to let the vehicle even itself out before I kept going, and that's not something I've ever had to do in a Rubicon before, in any Wrangler, going down any Wrangler Rubicon, that's what I need to say. So that is a concern, that extra weight. But on the flip side of that, this thing hauls ass. Holy crap, is it fun. I might try to do a 0 to 60 just out here in the dirt because I think it would be cool. That's kind of the point of this thing, right? I'm not going to promise any great numbers. I don't think the 0 to 60 in this is going to be, really hellaciously impressive, because this is it's a Jeep. Come on. It's not made for racing. It's made for having good times. But I'll do it anyway because, we got a dirt road and it's a Jeep. Anyway, I'm going to tell you some more about this rig. Let me get out and stand in front of it. How's that? And then you can see what it looks like. All right, so here's the Rubicon 392 in all of its glory. Beautiful, beautiful rig. Not really partial to this color. I like the more exciting colors from Jeep, but I know there are people that like this. Also, this is the convertible. So see that? All Jeeps are convertible, but this is the electric convertible. So that means that you can run it from the inside, and it just folds up to back here. And then, like every other Jeep, if you really want to take everything off, the tool set's in there, go to town, you can do it. In the back, there is a optional storage pouch that you can put all that bunch of that stuff in, not all of it. Windshield still folds down, doors can still come off, all that other good Jeep stuff. So what we have here is we have the 392. You can see it's got a little more aggressive hood scoop. I'll show you some photos to illustrate that a little better. It's still a Rubicon, still has the big steel bumpers, still has that lift and Fox shocks and all of that. Still has the aggressive tires, still has all the stuff you expect from a Rubicon model. I was hoping to get a little more mud out here because I'm wearing shorts, I got water shoes on. I was really expecting to be tromping around in the mud today. I'm bummed. But this is the front of the engine. You can hear how loud that is as it sucks in the air. It's fairly warm out here, but not terribly warm. And it's just it's a nice day actually for this. So off-roading, like any Wrangler Rubicon, this is awesome. That big engine though, you can just listen to the sound. Let me take you around and I'll put the mic by the pipes. Listen to that. Holy crap, that's beauty. That is so awesome. Gasoline engine, of course, so, you know, you're going to be really frank, you're going to be at the pump a lot. Yeah. I haven't even broke 15 miles a gallon in this thing, and I was on the highway, so, yeah. Anyway, so I went and got the paperwork. Let's have a look at what this thing runs. So this is, of course, the unlimited Rubicon 392. Base price for this is $73,500. Fully loaded, well, loaded up is the way it is. It's not fully loaded, but loaded up the way it is. The biggest upgrade being the power top, which is $2,000. Really like that, by the way. I would totally get it. And then $1,500 in destination pushes you to $78,740. So $78,740. It's rated at 17 on the highway. With the wind behind you going downhill, you could probably get that out of this. Otherwise, I don't know how they got that number. Because I do not know how you would do that. So the 6.4 liter V8 Hemi MDS, 8-speed automatic transmission is the only way you can get this. It's also a full-time 4-wheel drive. So you have like 4 auto, which is, if you've seen the Sahara, it's all-wheel drive. It's kind of similar to that, but to really illustrate it, you would actually need to go look at, say, Ram truck or the other larger Jeeps that have this, like the Durango and stuff. They have roughly that same transmission. So the 4 auto is sort of like all-wheel drive, and then you have 4-wheel part-time. I'll show you an image of the stick shift so you can see what the shifter looks like. For your transfer case shifter, you have 4-wheel part-time. Now, that gives the impression that you're 2-wheel drive sometimes. I don't think that's the case. It doesn't feel that way at all. It feels like it's still 4-wheel drive all the time. I think what it's doing is it's just transferring more of the torque to the back. So you're getting more in the rear. Like all the Rubicon models, you have full locker control. So you can lock the rear, you can lock the front, you can lock both. You have full control over the sway bar, all of that stuff. So it's still a Rubicon model. They didn't chintz on it just to make to accommodate that gigantic engine because they just wanted to shove a big engine in it. Now, in my opinion, this engine is a little much for this, but not too much. If I were tuning this for my needs, for something that I would want, I would probably want about 400 horsepower. This is 470, really good. There's no such thing as too much horsepower, especially over at Dodge. So, what I will tell you is, this is a very, very likable machine. It's pricey, but it's very, very likable. So, kudos to Jeep for this. They did a really good job on it. I think that's all I've got. I don't think I can talk about anything else. I wish I could turn the camera around because there's some turkeys wandering across out there. All right, so there you go. That is the 2021 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon 392. There you go. So beautiful, beautiful rig. Lots of fun. Oh, and there's a button to make the pipes louder.